Hello, Bison Band. Welcome to level 15, and we are going to be identifying intervals today. Now, up until now, we've identified intervals just by the pure distance it is either going up ascending or going down descending. And we haven't really talked about different kinds of intervals that are the same general distance. So this is the first time that we're going to talk about different kinds of thirds, and we're going to apply a new term to our fourths and fifths. First of all, the ones that don't change here, your fourth and your fifth. Now, in music theory, we tend to, in this context, call them perfect fourths and perfect fifths. Those are the ones that we've been using so far. These are the same fourth or fifth that you would see in a building or identifying exercise up until this point. You can also think about these as from the beginning note, the given note, going up a fourth here would be like going up to the fourth note of a scale that was starting on the first note. The same thing would be true of a fifth. So you can think about this in terms of scales as well. If a scale were to start on the first note going up, it would be in a major or a minor scale, which we're going to be getting into in this level. It would be the same fifth that you would see in that scale, or the fifth note of that scale. Now, the difference here is going to be in major third and minor third. And I like to think about this in terms of scales. So if you were to start a scale on the first note, going up to the third note of the scale, if it was in a major scale, if it would fit the major key signature, we would call that a major third. If we would see a key signature or a third that would fit the minor key signature, we would call that a minor third instead. So again, I like to approach major versus minor thirds with key signature of scales. So let's take a look at what that's going to look like here. Okay, so our first one here, if we count upwards, 1, 2, 3, we know that that is a fourth. Now, every time I use a fourth, I have to give a perfect interval quality to that. Green tells me I'm on the right track. This is a new thing for our interval identification, and then select fourth. Okay, now this is going to be one of our new intervals here. Going up 1, 2, that tells me it's a third. Now, as I'm looking at this here, what I notice is that I have a G sharp. And I know that in a major scale, that the G would be sharp, because an E major scale has 4 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. Now, in a minor scale, an E minor scale has only 1 sharp, F sharp, so G would be natural in a minor scale. So I have to call this a major, click here to start, major third. Now here I have a 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that that is a fifth. I will hit perfect and fifth. I see again, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect has to start here. Green means I'm on the right track. And fifth. Anytime I have a fourth or a fifth, I'm going to be using the quality perfect. And 1, 2, 3. This tells me is a fourth. I need to use perfect for that descriptor, and then fourth. Now for here, we actually just talked about this one a second ago, but in a different context when it had a G sharp here. So you have an E, 1, 2, makes that a third. And we talked about how in an E minor scale, there's only an F sharp. So G natural would be the minor third. Now, we talked about before, if this were sharp instead, it would be the major version, because E major has F, C, G, and D sharps in it. So I hit minor to start with, and then third right there. Starting with an A, 1, 2. That makes us a third here. Now we know that the A major scale has F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. And here that doesn't follow that. So I'm thinking about my minor scale now. I know my minor scale for A has no sharps or flats. And that C natural here perfectly fits that. So it's going to be a minor third, minor, and then third. Now, if you see something in your exercises you're doing it that I don't talk about in this video, or you want a further explanation of it, please feel free to reach out, visit me during office hours, send me an email, use the ToneSavvy support request form. But with our practice in minor scales and major scales, this should be something that we can expand on and use those skills here. Remember to submit your results either by hitting stop quiz and submit best effort, or submitting the results when this ends automatically. You have 100 to get completed today, and you have 10 errors to do that in. So good luck, game on.